Hi, welcome to this section. This section describes the history and fundamental elements of Amazon Web Services and shows you how to navigate the AWS Management Console. The AWS Management Console is the graphical user interface to access AWS, which is also accessible through the command line interface and the software development kits. This section discusses the AWS global infrastructure and the basic principles of deploying on AWS. By the end of this section, you will be able to describe the history of AWS, recognize the AWS global infrastructure, and navigate the AWS Management Console. Now, let's look into the first part, which is the history of Amazon. Jeff Bezos incorporated the company in 1994, and Amazon.com was then launched in 1995 as an online bookstore. Amazon.com inclusive is an American multinational electronic commerce company with its headquarters in Seattle, Washington. It is the world's largest online retailer. Amazon has continued to grow and officially launched Amazon Web Services, which is AWS, in 2006. More came after, including Amazon Publishing, the Kindle, Amazon Game Studios, and Amazon Art. After over a decade of building and running the highly scalable web application, Amazon.com, the company realized that it had developed a core competency in operating massive scale technology infrastructure and data centers and embarked on a much broader mission of serving a new customer segment, developers and businesses. With a platform of web services they can use to build sophisticated, scalable applications. Today, AWS is the fastest growing multi-billion-dollar enterprise IT vendor in the world. Amazon Web Services is at 10 plus years in the making. Amazon Web Services, also abbreviated to AWS, is a collection of remote computing services called web services. These web services make up a cloud computing platform offered via the internet. We deliver web-based cloud services for storage, computing, networking, databases, and more. The AWS mission is to enable businesses and developers to use web services to build scalable, sophisticated applications. Web services is another name for what people now call the cloud. Now we can see AWS customers. We have enterprise customers. Enterprise cloud computing with AWS can help IT increase innovation, agility, and resiliency, all while reducing the cost. With AWS, you can build enterprise cloud solutions quickly and without a big upfront investment. The free tier allows you to prototype virtually any application for free. We also have startups. For startup customers, our innovations free you to scale quickly, go to market faster, and control the cost. AWS Activate is a free program with resources for startups to get the most out of AWS from day one. Then we have public sector customers. AWS offers scalable, cost-effective cloud services that public sector customers can use to meet mandates, reduce cost, drive efficiencies, and accelerate innovation. As of now, you can see there are a lot of new services and features that AWS has been releasing every year. We have currently 5089 features available. As you can see on the screen, a lot of services and features including AWS Badge, Snowmobile, Code Deploy, Certificate Manager, and many more. Let's look into the advantages cloud computing with AWS has to offer us. First is trade capital expense for variable expense. So instead of investing heavily in the data centers and servers before you know how you are going to use them, you can only pay when you consume computing resources and pay only the amount you consume. You can also benefit from the massive economies of scale. By using cloud computing, you can achieve a lower variable cost than you can get on your own, because usage from hundreds of thousands of customers is aggregated in the cloud. Providers such as Amazon Web Services can achieve higher economies of scale, which translates into lower pay-as-you-go pricing. Stop guessing capacity. Eliminate guessing about your infrastructure capacity needs. When you make a capacity decision before deploying an application, you often end up either sitting on expensive idle resources or dealing with limited capacity. With cloud computing, these problems go away. You can access as much or as little you need and scale up and down as required with only a few minutes of notice. Increase speed and agility. In a cloud computing environment, new IT resources are only ever a click away, which means you reduce the time it takes to make those resources available to your developers from weeks to just minutes. This results in a dramatic increase in agility for the organization, because the cost and time it takes to experiment and develop is significantly lower. Stop spending money on running and maintaining data centers. So focus on the projects that differentiate your business, not the infrastructure. Cloud computing lets you focus on your customers instead on the heavy lifting of racking, stacking, and powering servers. Go global in minutes. Easily deploy your application in multiple regions around the world with just a few clicks. This means you can now provide a lower latency and better experience for your customers simply and at minimal cost. Now, AWS, you can see in the Gartner surveys, is a leader, and followed by Microsoft and the other cloud providers such as Google. We also have some niche players, that is Alibaba Cloud, Oracle Cloud, and IBM Cloud as well. AWS is being rated highest in the execution and furthest in vision within the leaders quadrant. Many of our services and terminologies have analogs in the traditional IT space. This side-by-side comparison shows how AWS offerings and services relate to a traditional infrastructure. Let's see the security part. We have firewalls, which here in AWS are termed as security globes. We have access control list in the traditional data centers, which here in AWS is network ACLs or the NACLs. Administrators will be controlled here by the service, which is IAM, Identity and Access Management. Let's look into the networking, in which we have routers and switches, which here in AWS is managed by a service which is VPC, that is the Virtual Private Cloud. Here you can see the network pipeline. For balancing the load, we have here ELB, Elastic Load Balancing feature. Next up, servers. The on-premises servers here will be created by using an Amazon machine image, that is AMI, supplied into a service which is EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Talking about storage and databases, we have S3, Simple Storage Service for the object-based storage. We have EFS, Elastic File Store. We have EBS, Elastic Block Store for the RDBMS there. Relational databases. Here in AWS we have Amazon RDS, Relational Database Service. Let's now see the AWS Cloud Computing, which provides a simple way to access servers, storage, databases, and a broad set of application services over the internet. AWS owns and maintains the network-connected hardware required for these application services while you provision and use what you need. AWS has a lot of services to offer us. First up, AWS Foundation Services is categorized into various sections: compute, network, storage, security and identity, and some application services. So as we can see, a lot of services are there, same as we have for AWS Platform Services, which is then categorized into databases, analytics, application services, management tools, developer tools, mobile services, and Internet of Things. Now look into the AWS Global Infrastructure, which is then divided into regions, availability zones, edge locations, and regional edge caches. AWS regions are geographic locations that contain multiple availability zones, and then availability zones consist of data centers clustered in a region. Each availability zone is engineered to be isolated from failures in the other availability zone. In this diagram, we can see marked in the blue we have edge locations, marked in purple we have multiple edge locations in that region. Then we have marked with orange is regional edge caches. Each region is a separate geographic area that has multiple locations isolated from each other, known as availability zones. Each availability zone is isolated, but the availability zones in a region are connected through low latency links, where natural disasters or fault lines are a consideration. AWS isolates its availability zones so that they are not easily affected at the same time. For example, where earthquakes are a problem, AWS would never build two availability zones on the same fault line. When you launch an instance, you can select an availability zone or let AWS choose one for you. If you distribute your instances across multiple availability zones, you can design your application so that if an instance fails, an instance in another availability zone can handle the request. Here we can see some examples of a region, that is US East, which is Northern Virginia, has 6 availability zones, which are then named as US-East-1A, 1B, C, D, E, and F. Same goes with the other region, that is Tokyo in Asia Pacific. Availability zones count 4, named as AP-Northeast 1A, B, C, and D. Let's see the high availability using multi-AZ deployments. AWS highly recommends that you provision your compute resources across multiple availability zones. If you have multiple instances, you can run them across more than one availability zone and get added redundancy. If a single availability zone has problem, all assets in your second availability zones are unaffected. Now, the AWS Global Infrastructure Edge Locations. Edge locations help lower the latency and improve the performance for the end users. Currently, there are more than 100 edge locations available for us, which has the local points of presence, which supports the AWS services like Route 53, Amazon CloudFront, AWS Web Application Firewall, AWS Shield.